right, you see,
So
Resident Evil 1.
We'll just start with Resident Evil, released in 2002.
Sure, you know what?
2002, I think.
Yeah, hold on.
Bring up the IMDb.
Resident Evil movie. I'm gonna bring up the Wikipedia because there's like the Wikipedia page that has all the.
Yeah, true.
Okay, film series. Okay,
Yeah,
boom.
let's go.
All right, Resident Evil 2002.
2002. Directed, as we mentioned, by Paul W.S. Anderson.
Yep.
At this point in his career, he's probably most well known for Event Horizon,
Yep.
which is a film I actually quite like. It's a little divisive, but it's definitely a cult classic. It's I don't know if you've seen it, but I'm pretty sure Doom 3 pretty much rips off the whole plot of that film.
I think I did, but
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
But it's a very good film. Highly recommend that movie.
And it stars Mila Jovovich, who is in The Fifth Element, which everyone likes The Fifth Element.
I've never seen it.
It's a good movie,
That's what I've
trust
heard.
me. It's a good movie. She plays a really good character on there. So technically speaking, this should be a match made in heaven. Now,
Being the operative word here.
Now, to be totally honest, from what so a lot of people, when I was in high school, I watched the first one in high school, and I didn't remember why until I rewatched it, why I was so adamant on disliking that movie. But I had trouble remembering why. The reason, fellas, it was really boring.
Yeah. So, you had seen that. These were all new to me. I had never seen any of these before. The only one I had seen before was Welcome to Raccoon City, which isn't even part of this particular series.
You skipped too far ahead, right?
I
We
know.
got to stay on
Yeah.
track, man.
So, and I mean, I knew they were bad, but Brian, my co-host on Talking Toku, he is... Free plug. Go listen, link in the description.
Pluggers.
He has said multiple times that they're kind of a guilty pleasure for him. I love a good guilty pleasure, you know? I mean, for God's sake, I wrote a podcast about Japanese giant monsters.
I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds like cinematic
Exactly.
masterpieces to me.
But anyways,
You know?
so I kind of knew what I was getting into. I wasn't really prepared for Resident Evil because I don't think I have felt nothing, like legitimately nothing towards a film before.
All right. So let's just talk about the plot real quick.
Okay.
So they chose to do the smartest thing in the world, apparently, which is what every single video game movie does, is they looked at the source material and they looked at the plot within it and just went, no, I'm not following that. So the plot of the Resident Evil 1 movie is that there is so Umbrella owns basically everything, and right now, and they had a military complex. It's called like the
Hive.
The Hive, and it's run by an AI called the Red Queen. Now, what's at the bottom of this hive is essentially the T virus that was going to make everyone into super soldiers, but someone broke it open, and that's the plot gist. So we follow Alice, a character who is literally created for this movie alone. So an OC, if you will, an original character. Paul W.S. Anderson.
His wife.
OC, that is his wife, is playing the main character. And she goes with a bunch of military people because the hive is shut down because the T virus is loose. That is the whole movie. They just go into the hive to figure out who stole it, why did it break, and try to contain it. That's it. Pretty simple plot.
Very
and you know
simple,
it's pretty simple because the movie is the slowest hour and a half that you could have watched.
It's not a long movie, but it feels like it.
And Dave doesn't remember, but I can explain why. First of all, every shot is established like this. So movies, I don't know if you know this. This is a little bit of film talk here.
We're film majors.
Yeah, we're
we
film
know
majors.
how this works.
We know how this works. They have an establishing shot, so you know the setting. Nothing happens in the establishing shot. No. It's literally what it is. It's a shot to establish where you are. There are scenes, whenever they're in a new place, they show like 3 to 5 of them before the scene starts. Mm-hmm. And it's not like, oh, like a 3-second shot. Like the one I can remember off the top of my head, because I literally got sick and tired of it, and I even wrote it down, is there's a certain part where Alice walks into a hallway, And they have, of course, the zombie dogs from Resident Evil, because everyone loves the
Whoa.
zombie dogs.
I think that's like the constant throughout these movies. That's like the one thing they get right in all these.
Yeah, and in order to show the scene, this is a almost 5 to 10 minute scene. We have multiple establishing shots. First we get one of the hallway, then we get the cages, then we get another of the hallway, but now there's blood on it. And then it hard cuts to another shot of the hallway, but this time now Alice is walking in it. And I'm like, oh my God, they just wasted like 30 seconds to a minute. And like that's why we felt nothing. And what's even worse is, because I literally just remember this now, the zombies weren't the bad guys for the first half of the movie.
No, they don't. They're not even in it.
Okay. So they go into the hive, and they find the core. This takes an hour and a half. The bad guy is the AI of the hive called the Red Queen. The Red Queen now controls this hive. There's like saw death traps everywhere. So for a Resident Evil movie, we now have 2 OCs fighting it out because the Red Queen was never in a Resident Evil game.
And they do bring in characters from the games in later films, but this first one has no one.
None.
No one.
0. Zip. Nada. So it takes like half the movie for them to get to the core, and then they shut off the Red Queen. But when they shut off the Red Queen, all the zombies come out now.
How does that work? I couldn't tell you.
Considering it was pretty much implied that everyone in the building was infected with the T virus, I don't know why they all decided to wake up when the AI shut down.
Because the script asks for it.
The only one they made logical sense of why it would wake up would be the other video game character they brought in, the liquor enemy from Resident Evil.
Which, credit where credit is due, the liquor practical, like, I don't know if it's an animatronic or a puppet, looked pretty damn good.
Yes.
I'll give him that. That's like the one good thing about this movie.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, that's like, I agree. The liquor was the best part. And the movie keeps going. There's also like Alice has amnesia, and like half the cast have amnesia, and they're all like double agents on exposing Umbrella for making a bioweapon, and like it's more and more like double cross, double cross, double cross, and I'm like,
It really feels more like an espionage film than like a horror film.
yeah, and like they tried to make it be like. It's that generic trope of like the military team goes into a place that has a monster, and the monster picks him off, and the military team's like, I only had 3 weeks until I was off duty, sir, but I'm going out with a bang, and then they like sacrifice themselves.
Yeah.
It's all those creative tropes, and maybe it would work, but like everyone on that military team was completely unlikable in every single way. So I was kind of like, when everyone died, I'd be like,
They were all such nothing characters.
except being mean was like half their personalities for like half of them.
So it's, you know, there was no loss when they all died.
And there's so many
Spoilers.
scenes where they're trying to be like, I'll hold them off for you. I'm like, okay, bye. And then
Yeah.
everyone's like crying, and I'm like, didn't they just like pistol whip the main character
And you know,
like 30 minutes ago and
The
more?
wild thing is, because this was 2002, it's like, there was no, there's no precedent for it. Like this kind of like almost maybe started some of these tropes, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, I mean, we could be forgetting stuff, but yeah, the movie was kind of boring. Poorly shot, and the movie ends with, after all the double crossing, there's like Alice and some random environmentalist guy who just wanted to expose Umbrella because they were hurting the environment, because corporations hurt the environment. That's just a thing. And they go on a train and they fight the liquor in a moving train, which was fun.
Yeah, it's, you know, kind of based on the ending of Resident Evil 2.
Yep. And the liquor scratches the environmentalist guy, but Jill has the antidote, so Jill does the antidotes.
Alice.
I'm sorry, not Jill, Alice. Alice has the antidote. I thought of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for some reason. My apologies. I'm skipping ahead. They inject themselves with herself with the antivirus, but does it with the environmentalist guy, and they leave the hive, and then once out of the hive, they immediately get kidnapped by Umbrella, And the cliffhanger ending is Alice waking up in a what?
You're forgetting a very important thing.
Oh, what?
The most sequel-baity thing in any movie I've heard. As they're taking the environmentalist guy away, they're like, "I want him for the Nemesis program."
Yeah, that's
And then
right.
he's not seen for the rest of the movie, and you're like, "Gee, wonder what's going to happen in the next movie."
And then Alice wakes up and finds herself in Raccoon City, and it is basically looking like
And this
Resident Evil 2.
this was something really funny I noticed when I was watching that. She takes the shotgun and she cocks it, and then when it pans out to the wide shot, there's no one around her. No humans, no zombies, no other umbrella BOWs. Why did she cock this gun?
Listen, this is
It was just really funny to me.
Listen, okay? Speaking as someone who is based, I'm just going to say, 2000s movies, they just didn't teach you proper gun safety. That's all I'm saying.
This is true.
Alice is not doing proper gun safety there in that one scene. If there's no one there, why'd you do it?
This is true. Do we want to say anything more about Resident Evil? Anything you have?
Yeah, where are we going to put it? Because we're going to do this tier list.
Yeah, we're
style.
So when I say I felt nothing for this, I mean, I don't mean that like maliciously. I mean that I don't think it was good. I don't think it was bad. I just think it exists. Like how most people kind of talk about Morbius. So I'm willing to be nice and just give this a C.
Okay. I was thinking like a high D.
A high D?
Yeah, like borderline C and D.
Okay.
We can put it on C for now. We'll be nice. We can
Because I think objectively, this is probably the most well-made.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue for one of the later ones. We'll get to that. But I think this is the one that like works the most as a movie.
It functions as a movie.
It's functional. It's the highest praise we can give this
It's
film.
the bare minimum required.
It reaches that bar.
Not a Resident Evil movie, but
a movie.
So yeah, that gets the C tier.
Okay.
While we're here, we're throwing all the other video game movies we did. Mortal Kombat, D or C?
It's D.
Mortal Kombat's in D. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is in A or B?
I'd say high B.
High B. Okay. All
High
right.
B.
All right. So we're gonna make a ginormous list of every video game movie we do. All right.
Yeah.
This is a work
Not that
in
we
progress
do them
for you.
often, but you know.
We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna keep adding to it. It's gonna look so ugly and so
It
full at
is.
the end of this. Okay.